You know that feeling when you stare at your phone for 20 minutes, scrolling through restaurant options, unable to pick where to eat? Or when you spend weeks researching a decision you could have made in an hour? That paralysis you feel isn't about the choice itself. It's your brain trapped in a loop that's making every decision feel impossible. You think self-doubt is about lacking confidence, but that's not the real problem. Self-doubt is a mental habit that leads to overthinking, procrastination, and self-sabotage. And the real issue is that you're avoiding the one thing that would actually fix it: making decisions and taking action. Every time you hesitate, you're teaching your brain that you can't trust yourself, which creates the exact loop you're trying to escape. When you avoid making decisions, your brain shifts into a pattern where you delay, delegate, or refrain from choosing, all to minimize anticipated negative outcomes or emotional discomfort. But every postponed decision isn't making you safer. It's creating a feedback loop that reinforces your self-doubt. Consider what happens when you spend 3 hours researching the perfect option instead of just picking one. Your brain convinced you that more information would lead to a better choice. But what actually happened? You trained your nervous system that decisions are dangerous events requiring endless preparation. Decision avoidance feels like it reduces regret by letting you evade personal responsibility for potential negative outcomes. But it backfires spectacularly. The mechanism you're not seeing. When you defer a choice, your brain interprets that as evidence that you can't handle the consequences. So the next time you face a similar decision, your doubt feels even more justified. You're not building confidence through careful analysis. You're building a case file against your own judgment. Decision avoidance strategies work by postponing, bypassing, or delegating a decision to avoid effortful deliberation. But effortful deliberation is exactly what builds your decision-making muscle. Every time you hand that muscle to someone else or push it to tomorrow, you're guaranteeing that next week's choices will feel just as overwhelming as today's. This is why your self-doubt never resolves through thinking. The solution isn't better analysis. It's breaking the avoidance pattern that's teaching your brain you can't be trusted with your own life. Think about the last major decision you've been putting off. Are you researching more options, or are you avoiding the choice entirely because it feels too risky? Comment your thoughts below. Drop your answer in the comments below. Here's what happens when you finally stop avoiding decisions and start building that decision-making muscle instead. Set your decision deadline before you start thinking. Pick a specific day and time when you'll choose, regardless of how much information you have. This isn't arbitrary. It's strategic. When you know Tuesday at 3 p.m. is decision time, your brain shifts from "I need to figure this out perfectly" to "I need to gather enough information by Tuesday." That reframe changes everything about how you process information. Use the 70% rule for your action trigger. When you hit 70% confidence in your choice, that's your green light. Not 69%, not "I'll know it when I feel it." 70%. This gives your brain a concrete threshold instead of the moving goalpost of "when I'm sure enough." The threshold works because it forces a binary choice. You either have enough information or you don't, and your brain stops searching once the bar is met. Build decision momentum through micro-commitments. Start with choices that take under 5 minutes to execute. Which coffee shop, which route to work, which task to tackle first. These aren't life-changing decisions, but they're training your nervous system that you can handle consequences and move forward. Each micro-decision builds evidence that you're capable of choosing and adapting. Implementation starts tomorrow. Identify one decision you've been avoiding. Set a 48-hour deadline. Research until you hit 70% confidence, then choose. No extensions, no additional research phases, no, just one more option to consider. Your self-doubt isn't waiting for you to feel ready. It's waiting for you to prove you don't need to feel ready to act. Subscribe for more systems that actually work, and watch this next. Procrastination is the same decision avoidance pattern in disguise.